there, welcome to Rockstar Vegan Recipes. Today we're going to be making a French pastry cookie called a palmier. This is made with puff pastry. Now there's plenty of puff pastry that is sold in the grocery stores, but all the brands that I have found contain palm oil, and I don't buy products with palm oil because of the rainforest destruction and habitat loss for many animals. So I make my own puff pastry without the palm oil, and it's flaky and delicious. The first thing that we need to do for these palmier biscuits, I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly, is we have to put in 2 cups of all-purpose flour into a bowl, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of vegan butter. I have the vegan butter broken down into little tiny pieces, and I'm just going to put them in separately. If you're able to find sticks of vegan butter, then just cut them into like 1/4 inch pieces. And this vegan butter needs to be very cold. And now I'm just going to toss some flour over the pieces of vegan butter. And now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of very cold water. Stir it until it's combined. I've made it into a ball, and I'm going to put it onto a piece of plastic wrap and sort of make it into a bit of a disc shape. I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the fridge to chill for about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to roll it out on my surface that I lightly floured. I'm just going to put the disc there, and I'm going to start rolling it. It's pretty hard because it was still in, it's very cold from being in the fridge. And I'm going to roll it into a rectangle. I'm going to try to aim for about 12 inches by 7 inches. And now I'm going to fold it. Puff pastry gets flaky because it has lots of layers. So I'm going to fold it from the top into the middle, almost like I'm folding a letter. And then I'm going to fold the bottom up. And now I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. And now I'm going to start rolling again. And now I'm folding it again, turning it, rolling again. Okay, so I'm going to do this another 2 times. So I'll give it a total of 4 folds. Okay, so this is my 4th fold. Now I'm going to wrap it back up in the plastic wrap, and I'm going to put it back into the fridge for another 30 minutes because I can tell that the vegan butter is beginning to warm up, so I want to get it back in the fridge so it gets chilled again. I've taken the chilled folded puff pastry out of the fridge, and now I'm going to roll it onto a surface, this cutting board, which will be covered with sugar. I'm going to be putting 1/4 cup of sugar onto the cutting board. I'm going to now roll it into a rectangle about 7 inches by 12 inches. I'm now going to brush the top of the puff pastry with some melted vegan butter. On top of the melted butter, I'm going to mix 2 teaspoons of cinnamon with 1/3 cup of golden yellow sugar. I'll mix it together and then spread it on top of the melted butter. And now I'm just going to lightly tap down so that the sugar and cinnamon sticks to the pastry. I'm now going to roll up the pastry. I'm going to start with one of the long sides, and I'm going to as tightly as I can, roll it into the center. And then I'm going to roll up the other side, again as tightly as I can, to meet the other half. I'm just trying to close up the seam as much as I can by just pinching some of the dough together in the middle. Now it has to go back onto the plastic wrap and go back into the fridge to chill again before I slice them. I've just taken them out of the fridge. They've been chilling for about 20 minutes. And I'm going to slice them up into little biscuits about 1/4 inch thick. Now, I find that these tend to unroll a little bit when they're baking. They still taste just as good, they just don't maybe look as pretty. So to help them stick, I'm just going to brush on a little bit of water between the seam and just try to stick them together. Now just cut them up into 1/4 inch pieces and put them, try to keep them together, on the baking sheet. That might be actually bigger than a 1/4 inch piece, but that's what they sort of look like when you cut them. All right, I've sliced up 21 and they fit on the cookie sheet, and I have some left over. So I'm just going to wrap the rest of the pastry in the plastic wrap, put it in the fridge, and then I'll just bake it maybe tomorrow. I'm going to put them in an oven. I've heated the oven to 375 degrees, and I'll bake them for about 12 minutes or until they become golden and crispy looking. I just took them out of the oven, and they actually had to be in there for about 18 minutes instead of the 12 minutes that I initially said, because when I kept checking on them, they weren't very golden yet or crispy, so it was about 18 minutes that they were in the oven. And now they actually stayed together. They didn't really come apart like they have in the past, so that they worked out. And I'll show you the back of them. They're nice and golden on the back, because as you remember, I rolled the dough in sugar, and once the sugary part was touching the baking sheet, they got nice and golden on the back. So I'm just going to let these cool for about 2 minutes on the baking sheet, and then I'm going to transfer them to a cooling rack.
A cooling rack.
Cooling rack, and let them cool until they're completely cool.
Oh, I guess so.
All right, so the pommiers have cooled, and now they're ready to be tasted. They look really good, and they're quite flaky. You might actually be able to see how there are layers in the cookies, and that's actually again because it's puff pastry and it's a flaky cookie, and that's also from all the folding that we did when we were making these, when we were making
What were you making?
the cookies.
The cookies, okay.
They're very light and sort of airy, quite crunchy, which is how they're supposed to be, and really nicely sweetened with some cinnamon and then the brown sugar on the inside. Quite good. Okay, so I hope that you give this a try. Again, don't be scared of it. It's quite easy, as you saw in the video, and really delicious. And the recipe makes probably about 24 cookies, so it's definitely worth trying. All right, so thanks again for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and also click on the little bell once again to be notified for future videos. Thanks a lot, and take care.